Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Attila Sabo. This video is the first in a series that I'm making on Excel pivot table. Something which is very widely discussed in YouTube and in general. So you might ask, why am I making a series of videos on this? Well, the reason is simple. The majority of resources use examples from the private sector with concepts like sales and profit, which is not relevant for the UNHCR context. In these video series, I'm using examples from UNHCR. I'm using budget reports, of course, with mock figures and names, but the examples, the data sets are exactly the same instruction format that we currently use in UNHCR. So hope you will find it useful. This is the first introduction, which will be followed by a number of videos discussing the actual step-by-step features of Excel pivot tables. I will be using this sample data set. As I mentioned, the names and the figures are mock, they've been changed. I will do a demonstration in real time. Anything I'm doing here will be covered in detail in the next videos to come. So the first task will be to do a simple budget table which sums up budget categories and different components. And I will add some sums and percentages as well. So I'm going to start the counter now. Let's insert the pivot table. I will dock this field list into the proper place right there. Let me zoom in a bit so it's easier to see. I will add cost USD because this is a budget table. Now it's counting the number of entries in my report. Of course, I want the sums and I want US dollar as a format without any decimals, much better. So I will add budget categories to the rows so I see what kind of budget categories are actually in this report. Perfect. And I will also add the budget components, which will tell me into the columns, which will tell me the priority levels of this operation. Let me rearrange it. It's a bit better this way. Also going to rearrange the budget categories. I will put UNHCR project on top and the rest below. Okay, let me do some groupings here because I want to see the direct cost in one group and in direct cost as the second group. Then I can just easily close these. I can also rename these labels so it's a bit more easy to work with. Perfect. I'm going to adjust the column width. I don't need these items here. Now it's looking good, but obviously it would be nice to see the percentages as well. What's the percentage between OL and AOL in terms of the direct cost and indirect cost as well? Very easy to do. Just going to add another cost USD value here, but this time I will change again to sum, but change to show some calculations. For me, percentage of row total, this will show me percentages of the different values in my table. Let me rearrange the format. Let me change the format to percentage without any decimals. It's looking better. And I will just type percentage here, rearrange the column width. Now it's done. This is what I wanted to achieve. So it didn't take me a whole lot of time and efforts. I think we all agree. This table nicely shows that what are the OL, AOL portions of direct and indirect costs, and how do they relate to each other in terms of percentage. You don't need to know any kind of formulas. It works simply with drag and drop. Márta? Hát, ha muszáj.
De rendes vagy, addig dolgozom.
I will do another demo, which will include also some visualization. I'm gonna start from scratch. I will insert a new pivot table. Zooming in a bit. First thing to do is add cost US dollar. Also changing it to sum and to US dollar as a currency. This time I will add also the budget component, budget category, this time to filters, and I will only select partner project, so only partner budget. Let's see the objectives, which I will drag to rows again, to see the list of objectives with the corresponding budgets for partners. I will then now just sort it into descending order, so I see the top objectives in terms of US dollar budget in the top. I can do also various filterings. I would like to see the top 10 objectives in terms of US dollar value. So very quickly applying that filter, there you have it, the top 10 objectives. Let me just pull this label into the filters and then add the implementers. Let's see who's doing what here. All right. I forgot to filter for operating level only. So I see all the implementers within this operation. I'm gonna again just sort. I see that Iron Islands is the highest, followed by Society in House Lannister, the North, etc. Let's add a visual, inserting a clustered bar chart like that. Okay, I need to work on this a bit. Let me increase it. We'll just remove some unnecessary elements. Just like that. Still a bit too big. And let me format this. Right click, format chart area. Of course, I want to see the top item at the top US dollar value implementer at the top. So I just need to change the order, categories in reverse order. Perfect. And then I will just increase these bars a little bit. So it's looking quite nice now, but also work on the text a bit. So that I will, okay, actually that's up here. So the text is a bit bigger. It's too big now. Right there. So this was again a very short workflow of looking at implementer level budgets for a number of objectives, top budgeted objectives, and then adding already a visual next to it. Actually, this is kind of interactive, because if I change my pivot table and add, let's say, accounts, obviously my visual changes. So if you have some setup which works for you, you can easily just change the details, and the visual will also change with it. In this short introduction, I wanted to show you how easy and fast it is to work with pivot tables. In the next videos in this series, we will go through all these features and more in a step-by-step detailed manner. So please stay tuned and look for the further videos. And also you can find the sample data set in the link below if you want to practice with me as I do stuff on screen.